Good morning, Leo. I need to be really quiet today because it's super early. You might notice it's still quite dark. The sun is just rising. I'm trying to get my readings done in the morning before I have to start getting the kids ready for school, so it is quite early. I've got my my double coffee with me here today to make sure that I wake up to do your reading. I'm just gonna have some now, actually. Okay, come on, we can do this, Leo. We can get through this. We have our lovely little Pisces / Leo polar bear dressed as a lion mascot with us again today. Back in his outfit for you, Leo. And I've got a few songs that came through for you. The first one was Careless Whisper by George Michael. The next one was Infatuation by Christina Aguilera. I definitely think this might be a love reading based on the songs Infatuation. The next one was Hey Stupid, I Love You by JP Sachs. Then it was You Can Be the Boss by Lana Del Rey. You can be the boss, Daddy, you can be the boss. I love that song. And then, as if we weren't getting sexy enough, the Spotify song that came on for you, I've just randomised a song on Spotify. It was Buttons by the Pussycat Dolls. Loosen up my buttons, babe, I'll have a cheeky front. I love that song. Okay, so sexy reading coming our way, I hope, Leo. That's all my guided messages, so we can jump straight into your reading. I'm just going to tune into the energies and I'll be back with you. Oh, Leo, we're definitely in for a spicy time. As I was doing the Lord's Prayer, and I got I'm not particularly religious, but I do the Lord's Prayer kind of as a thing to set up. I got to the lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, and they went, a little bit of temptation is good for the soul. so okay, all right then, fair enough. Let's see what we get. Oh, something flipped and went back in. Oh, okay, but we have to cut something out with that sword card there. Leo, what have we got for you today? Oh, in the bottom we've got the prayer again. It's not the prayer, it's the desert, but I had a reading the other day. I'm sorry about my scruffy hair, I literally just rolled out of bed. I had a reading the other day, and it started with the desert and ended with the prayer, but I noticed that it had this prayer, like praying hands on. It's funny that I was just talking about praying as well. But it was like the person was praying or wishing or putting their message out to the universe because the situation that they were in was kind of so dry. And I see that as emotionally barren. There was no love there. So what is this? I'm going to go straight to the book. The vessel is like, I see this as like the body is the container of the soul. But the sword comes in to remove things that aren't helpful. It's like the sword comes in to remove blockages, barriers. There might be some kind of like, I'll put it like this in the imagery. There might be some kind of, all these dark colours are kind of like negative thinking, clouded judgment, and this is blocking your intuition. So the sword comes in to in between that. I'm not sure. Let's go to the book. But there's a duality to that sword card. There's like this dark side and this light side. It's almost like yin yang energy. The sun and the moon. There's 2 suns, 3 suns. There's a lightning bolt here as well. This is like realization, some kind of news or like a light bulb moment going on. Okay, the sword. The knife, the blade, the weapon. To use the sword is to decide. The blade separates one reality from another. The choice is made and all else falls away. If you find the sword in your grasp, you can no longer hesitate. This weapon requires a clear and decisive mind and a willingness to act. An onlooker may think, the sword bearer is hasty and violent, but the most compassionate and responsible gesture is one that is honest, swift, and accurate. Our first encounter with the sword is at birth, when the cord we share with the mother is cut. This moment defines our separation from her and begins our journey of becoming ourselves. We must make these cuts again and again if we are to grow. Decisions shape our life, and the sword is an infamous shaper of destiny. When light, cutting through to what is essential, boundary making, prioritizing, and clarifying are all gestures made possible by the sword. The sword is a metaphor for the pen and the brush, the artist's fierce and graceful tools. Right, the artist. Some of you may be an artist. I know one of my Leo friends. Hi, if you're watching this, you're an artist. You're an artist. Telling you, you're an artist. They're like, I know. Okay, contemplate the Buddhist philosophy of the first and second arrow. Swing the sword once with precision and commitment. More than that will be painful for everyone involved. So this is saying, what I'm getting from this mainly is that there's some kind of decision that you have to make, and it's probably a decision to cut something out of your life, or to make a choice and kind of really go fully in one direction, and it's like almost saying to you, don't draw it out, don't make it. Like sometimes if we've got to make a decision, and it's we know it's going to hurt people around us, we can kind of try and ease into it gently, but sometimes that can actually create quite a lot of anxiety in the people around us because they're not quite sure where they stand. So actually sometimes the kindest thing to do is to be very clear, very straightforward, very clear, very practical, very like action based, and really draw that line in the sand and say, this is what's happening, this is where I stand, this is what's happening from now on. And then that's very clear for that other person. And yes, it might hurt in the instant, but they have the facts and the knowledge, and the information to be able to deal with that, rather than making it like a long drawn out process possibly. So take that if it resonates. If it doesn't, then just leave it. I would say that it's obviously not encouraging any kind of violence. It's a metaphorical sword. Okay, the vessel. Somebody has a little coffee cup there, so that's my reminder from the universe to drink more coffee and wake up a little bit. Okay. Here we go. The body, the container, the cup. The vessel may be the most powerful archetypal form on earth. It is everywhere. Cups hold liquid, stoves hold fire, our bodies hold organs, our homes hold families. Through the simple act of separation, we've got 2 cards about separation now. The vessel protects what it contains. Nests protect eggs, savings account protect our earnings. Even the planets are contained within their circular orbit. When this card appears, it is time to assess what is being held together and how. Is the vessel too tight, too loose, broken or empty, full? Or perhaps there is no vessel at all, and the contents spill in every direction. Ooh. It is natural for structures to be formed and eventually fall apart. The vessel has a life cycle that must be honoured. It is time for you to build, break or repair. Is it time for you to build, break or repair? You must find out. When light, stable, strong and graceful. The mentor and the healer must pay particular attention to this archetypal form. Healing cannot be sustained without a strong container. The physical body is the most sacred vessel of all. It is the one in which you reside from your first breath to your last. It may need your attention. Okay, so it's saying you might have to look after your body. That you might have to actually... They're telling me that this is only going to be for 1 or 2 of you, so don't panic if this isn't resonating for you. But it's telling me that some of you may actually have to have an operation to have something removed from your body. So don't panic if that's not you. If you're perfectly happy and healthy, then that's fine. If you have got any like niggling health concerns that you've been putting off, maybe just do go and get that checkup just to be on the safe side. But I'm seeing that as a very much a very small message for somebody. It's not a major message. It's not the main message coming through. So don't panic about that one. I do have to say it if I see it though. The main message coming through for most of you is that there is some kind of structure, right? Some kind of whatever this container is. So it was talking about, it could be the home, right, where your family lives inside. The home protects the family. I suppose it could be like a workplace. There's some protective structure, and I see that it perhaps has possibly cracked. That could be a crack. It's not quite functioning anymore in the way that it was first intended. They're giving me first intended. So something was set up because at the time it was necessary and it worked really well for a time, but it's kind of like it's run its life cycle now. It's not quite functioning. They're telling me for the needs of the business for some of you. It's not quite meeting the needs of the business anymore, whatever that means. So it might be time to kind of reassess, take action, to cut away the things that aren't working anymore, and to make space for the new. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Say what you gonna do to me. I'm telling you, listen. You're giving me buttons again, I don't know why. The fox. We've got the fox and the tower, which is kind of like this is some sort of structure. I'll read it for you because it's different to the tower in the tarot. This is a Lenormand deck. Where are we? 19. Yeah, I know what it means. I just kind of think it's easier if I read it, because it's to do with that vessel. Okay. Corporations, organizations, institutions, and governments come under my influence. I am boundaries and restrictions, so be mindful of isolation. I describe your ambitions as well as your expectations, and let's not forget your higher education. Unlike the tower in the tarot, the Lenormand tower is symbolic of a structure that offers protection and security. See, I was saying it's the same message as this vessel. So I think what this is doing is it's clarifying to make it easier to understand, because that was a bit hypothetical. So this is going to clarify for some of you what that actually means. In the game of hope, which is Lenormand, it is a watchtower built on a high ground for surveillance over the countryside beyond. In current times, it may relate to border control or control of passage to a city. As such, it may have multiple meanings, ranging from authority to education to places of, I think this is going to say worship, to places of, power and legal dealings. The tower then is a seat of power and often means bureaucracy. When combined with the letter, right, so we don't need to read that. In some books, it can be symbolic of a place of isolation, such as hermitage. Okay, so the watchtower. So I'm seeing it as some kind of structure or institution. A structure or an institution that's meant to offer some sort of protection, but there's something not quite working with it. There's something that kind of, this either, because it was talking about boundaries, and the sword is also a card about drawing boundaries. So yeah, that's the main message now. So boundaries regarding some kind of institution. And we have the moon underlying there. So there may be things that you don't know. There may be secrets. I was going to say as well, this is also 1 and 9 make 10, so the 10 is about some sort of ending, so I am seeing something that's being cut out, and the 6 of swords there, that's moving on to calmer waters. The 6 of spades changes to the 6 of swords, so yeah, that is but someone's being a little bit sneaky here. The fox card for me is a card about wanting something, having a goal, having an intention. You can see how the fox is looking at that rooster. The fox knows it wants the rooster. It's also a 5, which is about a change. But the fox knows that if it tries to go directly for the rooster, people are going to stop it. It's too obvious. So this fox has this way of saying, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in it. I'm not even looking at it. I'm actually walking in a different direction. But he's being sneaky. He does want the rooster. He's just trying to not make his intentions obvious. He's trying to kind of play it cool. He's quite sly, quite calculating. Sometimes that's for a good reason, right? It doesn't mean it's necessarily for a bad reason. It just kind of means like biding your time as well. So the Nine of Clubs, this will be the Nine of Wands. That is kind of the Wounded Warrior card. So this person could have been on quite a long journey, carrying a lot of burdens. It's really taken a lot out of them. Again, we've got that like that underlying thing about health. Look after your health. Yeah, it's kind of like coming to the end of a journey now, but it's really been like very, very hard, taking a lot out of you, lots of burdens there. Let's get another one. Again, I'm sorry about my scruffy hair today. Anything from the Kipper deck, please, for us today. Anything from the Kipper deck for Leos. One last chance. It was mainly the Lenormand deck that I was called to use, but I do like to use these two packs together. So, no, I don't think there's anything from there. Tell me one more time, I don't know. Anything from the Kipper deck? Oh, yes, change. Okay, thank you. Okay, and bad health there on the bottom. Do look after your health, guys. If that's not you, it might be somebody around you. Yeah, some kind of change. Could be travel, movement. Again, we've got another 9 there, which to me is like coming to the end of a long journey. Somebody may be moving home. They just told me somebody may be moving country or states maybe. They use the word country, but I sometimes think, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it can mean just some change, right? It could be lots of things, some sort of change. And I did pick up that with this number 5 up here. Come down here, Lion. Yeah, but I think perhaps someone's being a little bit circumspect about this change that they're making. A little bit keeping things to themselves. I'm just drinking my coffee. Okay. So, where does he want to go? Oh, there, that's a good place, right at the start, protecting the journey. So what's going on in the heart space, please, in the emotions? I'm using the Steampunk deck. This is one of my favourite decks because, actually, I just saw the Two of Cups, which is one of my favourite cards out of all the decks. I'll show you, just in case you don't believe me. I just sort of spied it somewhere around here. There you go. I used this deck yesterday. I had this sudden urge to do a reading, and quite a few cards came out, but from this deck I had the Emperor, the Empress, the King of Wands, and the Devil. So I meant to say that at the start of this reading, but like that's some sexy times, guys. Right, okay, so what's going on emotionally, please, for Leo? What's going on emotionally? Whoa, okay, thank you. The Tower, yeah, okay, the Tower, and I feel like the Tower is, I did say that these are two different decks, two different types of Tower. It's not the same Tower normally in the tarot, but I am actually seeing it as the same structure because they've come out right next to each other. So yeah, I think this some kind of Tower moment regarding this structure. Now the Tower moment means it's something, we have that lightning bolt up here as well, so it's like some kind of news, some kind of shocking event, something unexpected, that kind of shakes things up, that rattles your foundations, and I see it's rattling the foundations of this tower. So whatever this structure is for you, yeah, there's a bit of shake up they're telling me. But emotionally, this is the Temperance is a very balanced energy. It's very, very patient. Yeah, very patient, very balanced. It's like taking your time. I'm seeing it as that fox energy, right? Of really kind of taking your time with this, balancing out, maybe doing some healing. The Page of Swords is the spy. The Page of Swords gathers information. So yeah, I think it's this fox, right? Is somebody biding their time, gathering information regarding this structure. And I think they're going to probably the person who's going to deliver this Tower moment. That could be you. We have the King of Pentacles. This could be a boss, a father, a husband. somebody who doesn't have to be, it could be a person around you, it could be you. I'm seeing it more as a person around you who is, my alarm's going off, who is very stable, very quite work orientated, money orientated, that likes to keep things stable. They like to keep things grounded. They like things to be ticking over. They don't like change a huge amount. Yeah, but it's a very stable energy. It's kind of like the provider, the sustainer. Yeah, probably very good at kind of like work, business, career. They like to keep a nice home. They like sort of the finer things in life as well. Usually the King of Pentacles. My heart's racing. But we have it with this Nine of Swords, which is a lot of anxiety. It's sort of like being tortured by your own thoughts. You can see the thoughts symbolize, the swords symbolize the thoughts, and this person's in bed. Like, again, that ill health card. It's like overwhelmed by their own thoughts, mental confusion. It can even be things as extreme as anxiety or depression or mental health issues. So if this is you, if this isn't you, it could be somebody around you. It could be this King of Pentacles, but they are showing in the upright. Now, you don't have any cups in your emotions. So this is, cups symbolize emotions. It's mostly thoughts and being very, very practical. So do be aware that your thoughts may be clouding your emotions right now. You might have to tune in slightly to your more emotional side. So they told me thinking yourself sick. Don't think yourself sick. Whether that means don't think so much that you make yourself sick, which is the way I initially thought they meant it, but it could be don't think you're sick when you're not. It's like hypochondriac energy. So take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. You know, I don't want to say you're not sick if you are. There's obviously, it's not a personal reading, it's a general reading. There's different people coming to the reading. So I say all the messages that come through. It's 22:33 on the timestamp. Okay, so what's going on in the thoughts? They've got a lot of thoughts in their emotions. So what's going on here in their actual thoughts? Yeah, okay. The Knight of Pentacles. This is a very slow moving knight, but he seems to be taking action here in this card. Delivering the owl is delivering some kind of knowledge, some kind of information. So I see this as somebody giving you information, giving you knowledge, possibly via social media or electronically, right? Emails. It can actually mean someone. It's someone taking some sort of action, but they're very, very slow moving. And you also have, so what have we got here? Just take that bubble off my wrist. The Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is much more fast acting than the Knight of Pentacles. But there's a feeling of being trapped here. There's a feeling of being trapped and not quite knowing all the details, because you've got the two moons. Now that is, moons are to do with secrets, things that you don't know, but you know intuitively. So you can see she's got this blindfold on, but she kind of, it's intuitive knowing. I don't think you're using your intuition though, because you've got so many swords in this reading. I think you need to tune into your emotions, because I think the swords are trapping you. They're holding you back. The swords are symbolizing thoughts. You're trapped by your own thoughts. You can't move because there's things that you don't know, but you're not seeing them because you're not using your intuition. You're trying to think about a situation that you should be feeling in, I think. You know, swords are great. I'm a Libra, so I'm sword energy. You know, it's good to strategize, it's good to think things through, but when it gets to the point where your thoughts are preventing you from thinking, seeing clearly, taking action, there's an imbalance. You need to make sure you're balanced with your emotions. because the Knight of Wands here can be very, very hot-headed, impulsive. He is in the upright, so he's not in his negative, he's not in his shadow side, but they're sort of giving me it as a warning that not to bottle things up. They're telling me don't bottle things up. It's important to feel as well as think. You can't process something if you don't feel your way through it. This is what they're telling me. So there's all these bats here as well. In the upright, if it's used correctly, the Knight of Wands can be a very passionate energy, very, very creative. He takes action towards his goals, the things he's passionate about, the things that he's, make him feel very, very, very motivated. It can be a very, very positive, action-based energy. It can also be a player. I don't normally like to say that about him unless he's in the reverse or there's other cards around. I think, though, that there's something that you're probably passionate about, but you're trapped. You can't move towards it because you're too much in your own thoughts. Your thoughts are holding you back from something that you're passionate about. Right, okay, let's go to the action space. What's going on in the action space, in the tangible world around Leo? What action is Leo taking? What's going on around them? Okay, whoa, something flipped and went back in. Anything else want to come out before I pull that card? Thank you. So something's hiding. This is something that you don't want people to know, or that I think I know what card it is as well. It's something you don't want people to know, or you're hiding, or it's a secret around you. Oh, it's not what I thought it was. You've got a couple here. So this is your secrets, or secrets around you. King of Wands and the Moon. Yeah, the Moon is just clarifying it's a secret. I was picking up on this Moon here, and this Fox as well. So we have a Lion on here. You're Leo, right? I forgot who I was reading for. This is probably you. This is probably your energy. Who did I think I was reading for then? That's weird. I got a bit confused about who I was reading for, and I don't know what... Somebody may have different placements. Okay, go down. Go. Oh, you've got that Page of Swords again there. This person here, who was saying gathers information. It gathers information with gets ideas. The Tower underneath that as well there, and the Eight of Wands, which is communication and action. So you've got the Tower 3 times now. I've seen it in this reading. That's quite dramatic. Okay, so what is going on in your action space that perhaps you're trying to keep secret, or that someone else is keeping secret around you? The Moon card is secrets. It's intuition. So I'm just making sure. I'm going to come back to this in a second. I'm just going to describe the King of Wands. As I say, I did see him in that reading I did yesterday. King of Wands. So he's actually more mature than the Knight of Wands. This is your energy. I think in your thoughts, perhaps you're being a little bit more... you're doing quite well. You're controlling your impulses. You're controlling your thoughts. If you're in... yeah, okay. Yeah, got it. Right. Thank you. So I wasn't quite getting what this was here, and now it's making sense. Because in your thoughts, I think you're very, very passionate. You're horny, very passionate about something. Really kind of wanting to race towards something, to take action. Very, very passionate, fast action towards something. But this trapped energy is you actually holding yourself back. Because you're presenting in your action space as the King of Wands. Now, the King has all that passion, all that fire, all that action, heated energy of the Knight of Wands, but he's more mature. So he's got more control over his emotions, over his passions, I should say. He's got that self-control. He's got the restraint. Kings are very, very restrained. They can hold back. So in your action space, you're actually holding back on something, on taking action about something you're really passionate about. So yeah, that's really good actually. It's really, really good. So the reason why they've shown it me this way, rather than just showing me the King of Wands in your thoughts, they want to emphasize the fact that your thoughts are a lot more fiery and passionate than they are appearing in your action space. So in the tangible world, the way you're presenting is this controlled energy, but they want to emphasize the fact that you are holding back, that you're much more passionate than perhaps you're presenting. Yeah, and that's kind of the secret. So this is what's going on with the fox, I think. So whether that's passionate about something you want to do creatively, someone that you have the hots for, or something that you're feeling quite high-tempered about, I'm not sure. You'll have to work out what that is for you. But yeah, the energy is this self-restraint energy. It's actually really quite hot. It's really hot. But look at all the moons as well. Do make sure you're using your intuition and feelings though, because I don't like to see the King and the Knight, especially the Knight of Wands, without any feelings. Okay. And so this is like leadership as well. You may be leading, because we've had that institution there. You may be actually a leader in that. It doesn't necessarily mean you're a boss, but you may find it easy to get people to follow you, to get people fired up. Looking at the two dogs howling at the moon and how they're so it's like yin and yang. There's a black dog and a white dog. So this may be you balancing out two different sides of yourself with this Temperance card here. I've seen this kind of as like you and somebody else though, who are at a distance from each other. You're not able to actually physically be with each other, which is probably why you're getting so fired up over here. Yeah, wanting to be with somebody. So this is just for some of you, but it's like you may be across water from each other. Didn't I say something about being in different countries? Yeah, but at a distance, it could just be literally socially distancing. You can't actually be with this person right now because of social distancing. But it's like you're under the same moon. You're apart, but you can both look at the moon and I don't know. I'm drowned in you. They're giving me Evanescence. Falling forever. Got to break through. Which one's that one? Like asking like you can answer me, Evan. Going under? Going under. Going under, drowned in you. Right, okay. So that's partly your action space, but also over here. Oh. So we've got the completion of that Wounded Warrior, Nine of Wands energy. Going hermit mode. This could be going solo regarding something. Hermit mode though, I see this as like deep reflection. A lot of people have been in hermit mode because of COVID and social distancing. A lot of people have kind of been on their own. They've really done a lot of inner reflection work. It really is like taking a time out to heal, taking a time out to reassess. Yeah. It's almost like she's shining a light though. Like I see this as perhaps being one of these two people, right? She's looking out over the ocean, shining a light to that other person, possibly. Then we have this Ten of Wands, which is a completion of a long journey. So like it's been a really long journey, but you're reaching the end now. You're about to put down your burdens. But here we've got competition or conflict. I see it as competition, this card, the imagery of it. It's like people all fighting for the same thing. Reaching new heights. You may be climbing the career ladder, fending off the competition. But with this Ten of Wands, it's like... Just one second. Yeah, so I've clarified for you this Five of Wands. I just wanted to take a second with this to understand the message, and I needed to clarify the Five of Wands, and the Eight of Pentacles came out. So this is, for most of you, this is work, or it's to do something tangible. It's like there's been a long journey, you've put the work in, this is like doing something over and over and over and again, really kind of mastering something, getting something right because you've done it repeatedly, which there's been some competition, but I feel like you have reached the end of the competition, perhaps because you've put the work in, something like this. I can't get any more quite from that, I'm afraid. But let's get your advice card. Okay, best advice, please. Best advice we can have for Leo today. Best advice for Leo today, please. That might be what you're being sneaky about TikTok. Okay, that TikTok card was haunting me last week, and higher power. So this is divine timing. Yeah, divine timing. That orphan card as well. I've seen that was coming out a few weeks ago. It kept coming out. Orphaned and orphans. That this word kept coming out. I was getting like Oliver Twist and Annie. It went away for a while, but it's just started to keep showing up again. This orphaned card. But this is divine timing. TikTok with higher power. Yeah, absolutely. Something about divine timing. So I'm going to just read TikTok. It also makes me think of TikTok, the social media app. Maybe some of you are on TikTok. Maybe you've been waiting for the right time to be on TikTok. I don't know. Here we go. So, essential meanings: timelessness, divine timing, immeasurable time. The Oracle's message: when humans created time, everything changed and contracted. People have come to look at life in a linear way, imagining that the past is behind them and the future is ahead of them. You had the card past and future being the present last week, so you may want to go and watch that. It was part of a series of short readings. I think I did Aries to Leo or Aries to Virgo, if you want to go and look that up. Okay, people have come to look at life in a linear way, imagining that the past is behind them and the future ahead of them. But what if that isn't true at all? What if everything, creativity, beauty, chaos and order, were happening now in a glorious timelessness? You have all the time in the world to co-create the life you desire, so release your agenda, let go of your need to shape every moment to your expectations, knowing that what is yours will never be withheld from you. Miracles are here right now and always show up when you need them, right on time. The relationship message for those of you who have the hots for someone: love, the fulfillment of desire, and even the body's reproductive cycles have their own timetable. Some things are preordained and cannot be coerced. Everything has its season, its divine and appropriate timing, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Remember that you always have enough time for love, to find it, to nurture it, and to give it and receive it. Its clock is eternal and ticks according to the beating of your heart, in perfect rhythm. Isn't that wonderful to know? Love is always right on time. Right on time. Right on time. So there you go. If you want to pause that and have a read of that at your own speed, there you go. And there's a couple of extra messages there that I haven't read out, if this is like work or something for you. So Leo, do take care. I hope that reading was helpful to you. And I hope you have a good day and a good week and a good life. All right, Leos, take care. Bye bye.